Jagrata. Eventually you catch on that life, everyday life, can either bind you or liberate you. And it has nothing to do with what's unfolding in front of you. It has to do with you. That is the essence of deep spirituality. The essence of the real awakening takes place when you realize it's really all about you. You have gotten yourself in a messed up place. And now you're trying to fix it by doing the very stuff that got you messed up. That's absolutely the truth. You get anxious about things, and so you do drugs, or you drink, or you take vacations, or you try to get a new relationship. In other words, I'm not okay inside. I know that. And I try to fix it by changing, manipulating, controlling the outside. That doesn't work. That's the most important thing for a human being to realize. It's not wrong. It just doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because you're not dealing with what's wrong inside. If you feel lonely, there's a reason you feel lonely. It's not because you don't have someone. This is the most important thing I try to get across. I don't know whether people can open enough to realize it. Your statement that I need someone special in my life is a statement that I'm not okay, and I'm going to try to compensate for that with a person outside. The lack of the person outside is not why you're not okay. You were obviously not okay even though there was or wasn't a person outside. You've had people outside. It's okay for a while. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem. The problem is there is a reason you're not okay. There is a reason you're lonely. There is a reason you're scared. There is a reason you're insecure. There is a reason you're jealous. You are not jealous because somebody did something that stirred up your jealousy. We have a statement that says it stirred up my jealousy. In other words, if I ask you, you never felt jealousy before? It wasn't in there to start with, and it just got stirred up? That's what we say. It stirred it up. It didn't put it in there. It hit your jealousy. This thing, this event hit your jealousy, and that caused it to inflame, and therefore you have a problem. Well, that's your problem. The problem is that you have stuff inside of you that's not comfortable. You have stuff inside of you that's problematic. If you have stuff inside of you that is not comfortable and problematic, it is going to get hit. That is the way the world works. And again, it is not that the world is so perfect. That's what we like to say. The world is so perfect that exactly what I need to experience happens in front of me. That's like saying the psychologist with the Rorschach test knows exactly which ink blots to hold up to get you to remember what mommy and daddy did. No, I don't think so. He must be good. That's not what's happening. That Rorschach test is very, very important in understanding spirituality. You have a problem inside. This ink blot, and it's just an ink blot, is so nebulous that your mind interprets it as associated with the problem that you have. And therefore you say, that's somebody abusing, that's somebody getting a divorce, that's somebody hitting somebody, that's somebody being mean to somebody, whatever the heck it is. That's the soulmate that I missed. Whatever it is that it makes you think of is not what it is. It's that you have a problem. And that problem, because it's a problem and it's inside of you, is going to get stimulated by events and things and shapes and forms and colors and sounds and words from the outside. They are all Rorschach tests. I would not mind one iota if you got the point to realize that the world unfolding in front of you is an ink blot. It's an ink blot. No, that is not your soulmate. It's the fact that her eyes are like the prince that you used to dream of when you were 3 years old, and her hair is like your sister's, and you love your sister so much that just the combination of what comes in stimulates the combination of what's inside. It's like putting on glasses. If you put on dark glasses, everything gets dark. If you put on rose-colored glasses, everything gets rose-colored. The stuff is not rose-colored. It is not dark. You are doing this. So you have inside yourself all of this stuff that you have built up and collected, which we'll talk about in a minute where it comes from, that you've built up and collected inside. It's your private stash. Nobody else is in there, just you. And you have this. Because it's in there, it gets stimulated. Because it's in there, it's like wearing glasses. If you're hungry, then what you see is places to eat. If you're looking for a relationship, you see where people hang out. If you're not hungry, you don't see places to eat. You see what it is that is bothering you inside. Either what your needs are or what your fears are. That's what it boils down to. If you fear something inside, you will see it everywhere. If you go to a party and you've been looking forward to it, and you hear just a rumor that your ex might be there, the funniest thing you do is every time you hear a name like his, every place you look, everything that goes on makes you think it's your ex. You have ex consciousness. Nobody else has that but you. And it's the same thing goes with everything. So you are not perceiving the world as it is. Your stuff comes up, and that's what you see. And then you project that onto what you see outside, just like you project it to a Rorschach test or an ink blot. That's what you're doing, aren't you? On an ink blot test. You're projecting your stuff onto this meaningless ink blot. You will get to a point in your growth where you realize that is what you're doing every single moment, every single second of your life. If you feel the need to get married, it's all about that. Everything you see, if somebody else got married, you're jealous. If this happened, if that happened, if you hear about something, well, that's where I want to get. Just everything gets turned into marriage. Same thing with children, same thing with money, same thing with everything. You have your stuff inside, and that is what you make of what's outside. That is not what's outside. You can either say there's nothing out there or there's everything out there. But I can tell you right now, it ain't personal. It's just a world unfolding in front of you. That's the point where I beg you to go to your scientists. Ask a physicist, a quantum physicist, what is unfolding in front of me? They're not going to say the result of your father and your mother, or even the result of your past actions. They're going to say there are atoms, electrons, neutrons, and protons that are emanating from the quantum field, quarks and leptons. They're being put together by the fundamental forces, and then they're being put together by the force of electromagnetism that make covalent bonds. That's what's out there. Every scientist is telling you that's what's out there. It's not personal. None of it's personal. It's just what's out there. It's just what's unfolding. You take it personal in the exact way you take the ink blot personal. If you finally ask the doctor, well, okay, if that's not people fighting with each other, what is it? It's an ink blot. Where did it come from? Somebody dropped some ink on a blotter. It's an ink blot. That's what's out there. I dare you to be that open and understand what a mess we're making of things because we take them personal. And the reason you take them personal is because they hit your stuff. There is something personal in the universe. You got a bunch of personal stuff in there. So it's basic, what Buddha called right understanding. You are inside. That's where you live, inside. You have stuff inside. It's very personal stuff. Your stuff is different than his stuff, and your stuff today is different than it was last week because you had different experiences. Therefore, your opinions and views and what you react to. Tell me, here's a color. You like it? No, I don't like that color at all. Go fall in love with somebody who loves that color, wears it all the time. I've learned to like it. Whatever comes in becomes part of this inner psyche, part of this inner glasses that you look through. And then when things unfold in front of you, it has nothing to do with the things that are in front of you. It has to do with how you perceive them. Some people see a rattlesnake and they get scared to death. Some people see a rattlesnake, they want to catch it. They want to go out and catch it. They like rattlesnakes. They want to take it home. Literally, I want to take it home. Okay, have fun. I don't want to take it home. All right? So basically, we're all different. Why? Because we've had different experiences. Let's talk now about, okay, if you understand deeply, I know it's hard to let go at this level, if you understand deeply that the world is just out there, it's out there doing its thing. If you ask why is it the way it is, the answer is easy. Because of all the forces that came before it that made it be the way it is. You know, your hair is the color it is because of your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your great-great-great-grandfather, and everybody else and all their genetics. There's nothing about good and bad and right and wrong and like and dislike and better and worse. There's just physics. There's just the unfolding of life in front of you. It is the result of everything that ever was coming together. I always know I get across to you when I finally say, if your great-great-great-great-grandmother didn't meet your great-great-great-grandfather, you ain't here. Therefore, your existence is dependent upon all the forces that ever happened in the universe. How can you take those personal? What did you have to do with it? And the answer is nothing. Your control over a situation in front of you is so minuscule it doesn't even count. Try to make the weather not rain on your outside wedding day. When it's said and done, there's going to be a weather forecast. And it's not going to be based on what you wanted. And it's not going to be based on why would it have to rain on my wedding day? It hasn't rained for 2 weeks. Oh my God, God doesn't like me. No. It's based on the highs and the lows and what the mountains are doing and El Nino and La Nina. Every single thing is that way. It all is the result of all of the accumulation of forces that have caused things to be the way they are. It is neither good nor bad, nor right, nor wrong, nor better, nor worse. It just is. That's the zen of it. Things just are. Doesn't mean you can't do something about them. It doesn't mean just because you recognize that this is really big. It's really big. There's a whole universe going on here and lots of forces. The most you can deal with is the moments unfolding in front of you. You can think whatever you want, but the most you're going to deal with is what's unfolding in front of you. And how much is unfolding in front of you compared to how much there is. The moment that's unfolding in front of you is going on everywhere. It's all over the universe. There's a moment, isn't there? And there always was. So you're dealing with 0.00001% of reality and saying this is reality. You know what went on in front of you each moment. You don't know a thing about what didn't go on in front of you, which is 99.99999% of everything. So now you've got the basis for what's called right understanding. The world comes in, and what happens is when it comes in, you have to process it. It has vibrations. Buddhists say it has its nature. A rattlesnake has a nature. When it comes in, it feels different than a butterfly. If a rattlesnake lands on you, it feels very different than when a butterfly lands on you. If a person is saying something mean to you, when it comes in, it feels very different than somebody lauding you and saying really nice things to you. That not to be personal, it has a vibration. The rattlesnake wants you to be afraid of it. Its purpose is giving off those vibes. A person who's trying to be mean to you, they know what they're doing. They're sending off some strong vibes. And so this comes in, and what happens, I'll make a long story short, it comes in, and what you're supposed to do is experience it. You're supposed to experience it. Like, if I'm in a relationship with you, and you've never been in a relationship before, and you never saw that there could be arguments, and you never saw that a person might not always agree with you, and you never saw any of these things, I think I'll pass. How about you? Versus, I'm in a relationship with you, married once, it didn't work out so good, you went through a tough divorce, and so on. Don't think that's damaged goods. What's supposed to happen is that person knows more about relationships than you do. That person's mature. They saw what could go wrong. They saw how it could go wrong. They saw how all these things could unfold. And maybe they learned something about what they could have done along the way to handle it better than they did. A person who has experiences is better off than a person that doesn't have experiences. I'm not saying which experience. If you have an experience that you got married and it lasted 50 years, that's a beautiful experience. If you have an experience that you got married and it lasted 10 years and you got divorced, that's a beautiful experience. Both of you learned something. It's not better that one learned one versus the other. Both of you learned something. Life is about learning. That's what it is. It's about growing, experiencing. So when the world unfolds in front of you and it comes in, it doesn't always feel good. I don't think I need to tell you that. And sometimes it feels really good. The problem and the whole problem of why this is such a mess is you can't handle that. I know you well. First time I ever met you, I guarantee you, you cannot handle when something comes in and doesn't feel good. And you can't handle when something comes in and feels really good. You get weird in both cases. The thing that happened that doesn't feel good, you don't want it in there. I don't want it to have happened. I don't want to feel this. Why would I want to feel this? And the thing that happened felt really good, don't go away. It's called clinging. And you're just sitting there clinging to the good experience and resisting the bad experience. When you do that, that's the core of the teachings. We're doing it early so we can move on. When you do that, they stay inside of you. That's where all of your stuff comes from. When you resist something that doesn't feel good, you didn't let it pass. You didn't let it finish. Maharishi told the Beatles, let it finish its journey through the universe. It has to finish its journey through the universe. You didn't let it. It was headed somewheres. It happened to pass through you. Thank you. On its way along, it's going to let you learn something about it. So you had a cold day, you had a hot day, you had a nice day, you had a rainy day. You should know these things. So no one takes it that way. They sit there and say, anywhere from I don't want to I can't handle the negative experience, the bad vibration that comes in. I can't handle that. I do not want to handle that. I do not want it to have happened. It did happen, or you wouldn't be feeling it. Can we be mature? It obviously did happen, or we wouldn't be discussing it. So what good does it do to sit in there and say, I don't want it to have happened? So you push it away, because you can't make it not happen, but you can make it so you don't experience it fully. You can resist it. That's the right word. Push it away. Likewise, holding on and clinging to things. So the things that you push away because you can't handle them, and the things that you cling to because you can't handle them coming and going, stay inside of you. Where else are they going to go? If the Colorado River is flowing somewheres and I put a dam in its way, I'm busy for the rest of my life, aren't I? The nature of the Colorado River is to flow downhill. And you put a dam in the way, you better have a whole lot of people sitting there maintaining that thing and doing what you need to do. It is exactly the same. Beg you to understand. They're called Samscars. In the ancient thousands of years ago in the Upanishads, they called them Samscars. Yogis called them Samscars. These impressions that got stuck inside of you, energy patterns, because you did not let them come fully through and learn from them and embrace them and welcome them, so you become a veteran of the foreign wars. So now you've been in lots of relationships, you're not 12 years old anymore, and you're there, and all of a sudden somebody comes home and they're in a bad mood, they're through the house and they slam a door in the bedroom, right, and you giggle. Been there, done that. Been there, seen that. And when the person cools out and comes out, you say, hi, darling, did you have a bad day? That's a nice relationship, isn't it? I mean, you're somebody who's learned about how to keep these energies nice. But if, boy, this is the first time you ever seen such a thing, I don't want to see what a mess you're going to make of this thing, because you can't handle it. You understand what I'm telling you? When it comes in, it just naturally comes in. It is what it is, you know. You didn't make his or her bad day. There's a lot of forces that cause it to be that way. And you didn't make him or her react the way they reacted to their bad day. That's their father and their mother and all the different impressions they had during their life. So it has nothing to do with you. It is not personal. It has to do with mommy, daddy, first grade teacher, second grade, all the formative years and the past boss and all the different things that happened before when you weren't even there. And now they went to work and you weren't there, and they got triggered, and they come home and behave a different way, and you take it personal. And why do you take it personal? Not because you should, not because you think it out, because you can't handle it. You can't handle the feeling of bad vibration. You can't handle the feeling of rejection. You can't handle the feeling of disappointment that you were looking forward to a nice evening with the spouse or lover when they come home. So what happens is you hold these things inside, and I like to ask the question at this point, how long will they stay in there? Well, go ask psychology. What do they say? How long will the formative years stay in there? They say that you get some traumatic experience, you have somebody, it's there running your whole life. It's there down there every single minute of your life bothering you. You have to keep suppressing it again, pushing it away. Freud studied all that, didn't he? That's what he was studying. The stuff you store down there, wasn't he? A wise person looks at this and says, I have done something terrible inside myself. I have held every bad experience that ever happened to me inside of me. They're still in there. They still scare me. They bother me when I think about them. They determine my dreams, don't they? Go study Jung or any of these people. The stuff that's down there needs to keep coming back up. And it does keep coming back up, doesn't it? Do you notice it doesn't sit down there quietly? That you have to maintain it. I mean, in other words, push it away. And you have to make sure that events don't happen outside that hit it, so you get weird. If you are not careful, you will live your life that way. So what I said to you in the beginning is there's two ways you can live your life. See the unfolding of life. Either it is binding you or it is freeing you. What do you mean? If something happens that I have difficulty with, and you recognize, time to grow, time to learn to be okay with this vibration, doesn't mean I'm not going to deal with it. Just because you're okay with it doesn't mean you're passive. It just means I better be able to handle it peacefully and comfortably so that I can deal with it. Not that I'm reactive because it's bothering me so much, and now I'm coming out here to tell him, say you're sorry, don't do that ever again. What are you doing? You're trying to make sure he or she doesn't come home and not say hello next time. It's basically saying, I have a problem. When I go in to see the psychologist, and he holds up that ink blot, and it looks like mommy and daddy fighting before their divorce, the answer is you tell him, you are not to show any ink blot like that ever again, or I am leaving. How's that sound? Kind of counterproductive, isn't it? That is what we are doing with our entire lives. We are trying to protect the stuff that we have stored inside that is causing problems inside, instead of trying to get rid of the stuff we stored inside so that we can embrace and experience and not be afraid of and be grateful for and just enjoy your life, enjoy the experience of life. Like I said, it doesn't mean you don't deal with things, but you don't deal with them from the point of view that I can't handle them. I can't handle what you did, so I can't deal with you. I have to somehow change you so you be a way that I'm comfortable with. But that's not fixing you. That's not fixing the situation. that's manipulating and controlling the world around me, and I got to work real hard at that so that it will be a way that doesn't bother me. And if you're honest, you're going to see you spend your entire life doing that. You try to manipulate and control people, places, and things so they behave in a way that's comfortable to you and don't behave in a way that's uncomfortable to you. And it sounds logical, doesn't it? It's not. That is your past stuff that you have stored inside, coming back up, resurfacing, and causing you to apply your will to try to take care of that garbage. All right. So we laid the groundwork. What is spiritual life? That's not a spiritual life. Spiritual is as follows. You reach a point, and I'll tell you how to do it, where you start to say, I don't want this stuff inside of me. Well, that'd be kind of nice. Well, what would it be like to not have that stuff inside of you? It means the universe can unfold, and you can appreciate it and experience it. And if it's difficult, that's all the better. No pain, no gain. How would you like to work out, and the minute you get to the point that it's uncomfortable, you stop? Is that how they teach you to work out? Don't go any further. Just stop right there at that point where it starts to challenge you. The answer is no. Nothing's going to happen, is it? It's exactly the same inside. You have to reach the point of saying, I can handle this, and I will handle this. In other words, I'm not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be good at it or anything like that. But my intention is not to spend my life manipulating, controlling the people, places, and things around me so that I'm comfortable with them. The intention of my life is to enjoy life, appreciate life, respect reality, and when it comes inside of me and it hits stuff that I have inside, to use that as an opportunity to let go of the stuff that I stored. That's how a spiritual being lives. Now, do you need to meditate to do that? You bet you do. You need maybe get some mantra going on in there so you stay centered and clear. Yeah, you probably need to do that. But I'm telling you that meditation, mantra, asanas, that's not yoga. This is yoga. Yoga is the process of cleansing the channel so that life is allowed to unfold as it is, and you are at peace with it. You're in harmony with it. And then you can do some good. Nobody's saying you don't do good. You're supposed to. Just so you understand, my position is a high being has the following type of life. Every single moment, not big ones, every single moment that unfolds in front of them is better off because it did. It comes in, it leaves you, and it's better because it passed through you than somebody else. You actually raise every moment that happens to you, whether it's a smile, whether it's a word, whatever it is. You don't need the moment to be a given way. You don't need it to be a way that doesn't bother you, and you don't need it to be a way that turns you on. You're fine inside. You cleaned out the mess so that when it comes in, it's not hitting your stuff. So you're not reacting and making the moment be the way it is. I know it's inconceivable, isn't it? That's a high being. That's be here now. That's be here now. Why would you not be here now? Because I'm there then. Where? With my stuff. My stuff is stimulated, it's coming up, and I'm living my life based on my stuff. People do it all the time, don't they? And that makes a big mess, doesn't it? It ruins relationships. It ruins business. It ruins absolutely everything. If you can't handle reality, all you're going to do is attempt to manipulate the world around you so it doesn't bother you and sometimes turns you on. So what does it mean to live spiritual? And we'll start with small things. It means you say, right now, there are things I can't handle. Like lots of things I can't handle. There are lots of ways people's behavior. There are lots of memories that I have that bother me. There are lots of things that I can't handle. I guess I have some work to do. Why? Before I die, I want to be able to walk out in this world and face a day and be happy to have it and embrace it fully and not be afraid. Not all freaked out and anxious. You're creating your anxieties. Why are people so anxious? Anxiety is a totally natural thing. If I sit there and say, I don't want it to rain tomorrow, and I have no control over the rain, and I really don't want it to rain, I am going to get anxious. If I see a cloud in the sky today, I get anxious. If I see a weather forecast that shows the little drops coming out of the clouds, I get really anxious, don't I? Anxiety is the fear that things will not be the way you want, or that they will be the way you don't want. That creates tension and anxiety inside. The answer is, why can't I handle rain or not rain? You mean I could set up for a wedding or a party to be outside? I just made that decision. I had to make a decision some time ago. And so now the weather forecast looks like it might rain. Good. Let's figure out how we're going to play with that. Let's figure out what it will be like if it rains. What are we going to do? And have fun figuring out what you're going to do. It's not what you expected. It's not what you wanted. So what? It is what it is. If you can't handle what it is, you're going to have a terrible party and a terrible wedding, aren't you? If you have fun with it and tell everybody, oh, we're going to have this type of a party, we're going to go into a barn and we have the thing of it raised, meet us over at this place, and just make fun out of it, then it's a fun thing. It's something everybody will remember. They'll never forget it. You can do that with everything. You do not have to have things the way you think you want them. And you shouldn't. That should not be your attitude in life. That I can only be okay when things are the way I want, and I will never be okay if things I don't want happen. That's a death sentence, because you don't have control over the outside world. Go on, work as hard as you can, have the wedding be the way you want. That's one moment that unfolds in front of you at one moment. What about all the other moments of your life? You can't control it all. It's going to unfold. And if you let it bother you, then you're going to be a bothered person. So a wise person says, if I have this stuff inside of me, and I do, it's going. And there's no more coming in. Now let's see you live that life, because that's a spiritual life. How does that work? The example I always use, and this is where I want you to start. I don't want you to start with going exploring with all the garbage you have inside and freaking out. I don't need you doing that. What I need is that you're driving to work tomorrow. You're in a rush, perfectly reasonable. Your mind's telling you, oh, you got to get to work or get in trouble if I'm late. And all of a sudden, there's a driver in front of you going 15 miles an hour below the speed limit. Well, I want wisdom. I want clarity. If you want, you can get all upset about that. It can ruin your day. You can leave impressions so strong that you never drive that way to work anymore. You tell everybody, no, there's slow drivers down that road. You let that bother you. You let the fact that somebody else was driving the way they want to drive and it didn't match the way you want to drive ruin your day. If you do that, it's going to stay inside of there. The alternative is to use it to grow, to use it to go to God, use it to every single moment. You are working with yourself. And so now you're driving there and you notice that your mind is resisting, you're getting uptight, and you see, whatever happened in your past, like that kind of thing, and you just decide, no, this time I'm letting go. That's what letting go means. This time I'm conscious. I see the anxiety that's building up inside of my mind and my heart and my body, and I'm going to give it room to pass. Instead of complaining about the person in front of me, instead of complaining to everybody else about the person in front of me, instead of texting everyone I know, you could see this person driving in front. What are you doing? You're memorializing the situation outside and in when it's a meaningless thing. 3 blocks later, they turn off. It should be like this. You're driving, the person's in front of you, you have fun with this garbage that's coming up inside of you, and you basically relax. What I have found is the answer is to relax. What do you mean relax? How can I relax when I'm anxious? Because you're not anxious. Your mind is anxious, your heart is anxious, your body is anxious. You are the one who's aware of the anxiety. You notice that this garbage is going on in your mind. You notice your heart is getting tense. You are the awareness of being. That's the essence of spirituality. You are the self, the Atman, the soul, the consciousness. So you in there who's noticing this, try just relaxing. Because you always want to do something about it. I'm saying do something about it. Relax. When you relax, you're not resisting. Nobody can resist while they're relaxing. When you are relaxing, energies pass by you. So if you relax in the face of that, it won't happen the first time, but over time, they write me from all over the world. I've been practicing that. My whole life has changed. Your whole life will change just there. Just because you're not taking that tension and making it real, but instead practicing relaxing, then what will happen is the next time another situation takes place, the boyfriend or girlfriend comes home and doesn't say hello, this happens, that happens, that's a level of disturbance, of anxiety, of discomfort that's equivalent to the person driving in front of you too slow, which seems ridiculous, but it is, all right? All those discomforts are the same. Doesn't matter which machine you're working out at. If the muscle starts hurting, the muscle starts hurting. It's the same thing with this. Doesn't matter if you're letting go because the car in front of you is driving too slow. Doesn't matter if you're letting go because the boss dressed you down. Doesn't matter if you're letting go because somebody yelled at you. Doesn't matter if you're letting go because your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend came in and didn't say hello, they had a bad day. Whatever it is, it's a level of discomfort inside, isn't it? When you can learn to do it with a car, you will find you can do it with the other things. You're practicing handling that level of discomfort. All you have to do is be willing to relax in the face of the discomfort and say, I can handle this. I don't want to carry it for the rest of my life because this person drove like this, and no big deal. And eventually someone will drive like that, and they'll start to turn off, and you'll feel love for them. because they helped you grow. Thank you. And you'll mean it. Wow, I use this good. I use this for a high experience. I use this to grow spiritually. I use this to make me a greater being instead of using it to make you a mess. So that's your choice every single moment. Are you going to sit there and give in to the part of you that can't handle what's going on? Or are you going to sit there and use every single situation that unfolds before you in order to make yourself a greater being? And that's what I said. The world either binds you or it liberates you. But the difference is you. And every moment is the same. There are no exceptions. And then what will happen is when you do it good with these smaller things, and that's where I want you to work. I don't want you to go fishing for the big things. How you like that? I don't need you to go fishing down there to find the stuff you can't handle and freak out, right, and get all weird. So you start with this small stuff. Don't worry about all the bold, actions. Start with the small stuff. Learn to handle things that are not comfortable to you. Learn to handle things that are very comfortable to you without clinging. Some people can't handle nice vibrations. They grab and hold on and cling. Doesn't mean you have to renounce. It's just if something is beautiful, let it be beautiful and let it come and go. People have trouble with positive samscars. If something happens that is beautiful and you can't handle it, then what is happening is that thing becomes the center of your life. It becomes the core. And if then somehow it leaves you or it doesn't work out right, you get destroyed. You're totally destroyed. Christ called it building your house on sand. You built your foundation on top of this one nice experience that you had and said, I can only be okay if this person behaves this way and is steady and doesn't ever say this or ever do that. And there I've built this foundation. It's not a very good foundation, is it? Because the world changes. All kinds of things go on. Instead, you say, thank you for the beautiful experience. You say it to life. You don't say it to a person. You say, thank you, life, for bringing me a beautiful experience. I am happy and willing to fully experience this experience and let the next one come. It may well be the next one just keeps getting nicer and nicer with this person. Isn't that nice to know you don't have to do anything? You didn't do it. You didn't dress a certain way. You didn't act a certain way. Imagine what it would be like to not do that. To have something beautiful come in, touch you to the depth of your being, and say thank you. And be open to the fact that just like you didn't expect that one, you won't expect the next one that will come. And they come when they come, and they go when they go. And guess what? Good experiences and bad experiences are both beautiful to a spiritual being. Why? Because a good experience, you say, thank you, this was beautiful. And that is beautiful. It gives me inspiration to let go and be grateful for the beauty of life. A bad experience gives me the opportunity to learn to let go of the vibrations I couldn't handle before. And then all of a sudden I'm able to handle things. There are people who get in a roller coaster and they get scared to death and they scream and yell, they're screaming. They get, can I do it again? It's like people have fun with tough experiences. People climb Mount Everest. People put themselves in situations that are really challenging, aren't they? I'm not telling you to do it, but if you do, what you're doing it for is to challenge yourself to bring out the best of your being. You're not being a baby and saying life has to be a certain way for me to be okay. You're bold. I am okay with all of life. You sit there and take the attitude, I need to make something great of myself. I need to be able to let go of the stuff I stored from before. I need to be able to not take on new stuff. You'll catch that one. I remember the day I realized it takes 1 second for it to get stored in there and years to get it out. Somebody walks up to you and out of the blue, they say something not nice to you. You don't even know them. Then they mistook you for somebody else, but you don't know that. And they sit there and dump on you and they walk away. Anytime you see that person for the next 10 years, you walk the other way. That one single event, which was a misunderstanding, has just run your life. In essence, ruined your life. We are pretty screwed up, aren't we? We can't handle anything. And because we can't handle it, we suppress it. We hold it inside. Because we hold it inside, the world hits it. But not because the world is mean. It's for the Rorschach test. I told you. It hits it because it's there. You're going to see it that way. 18 other people saw that person walking across the street 3 years later. None of them had any reaction. Why did you see that person? They were with 6 other people walking over there. Why did that person who yelled at you 3 years ago cause you to freak out? Because you stored it inside of you. You can't say, because I have bad vibes. Well, everyone else is looking at it, I don't feel any bad vibes. Stop it. Understand what's going on. You can't handle the reality of the vibrations that come inside. And so you try to filter them out into like and dislike, and you manipulate and control to try and create a life that doesn't hit your stuff. That is the opposite direction where you should be going. You should welcome it. Come on, bring it on. That would be a nice state, right? Every single day, wake up. I wonder what will happen today. Whatever it is, I'm growing. I'm going to become a greater being. Now, what happens if you do that? First of all, you understand you can't do that. There is nothing stopping you. You are the only one in there. That's your house. That's your abode. If you want it to be nice in there, you can make it nice in there. If there is something wrong inside of you, you want to get rid of it. You do it this gently. Don't worry about being so strong that you're a macho guy or gal. You just take the small stuff. Just start with the low-hanging fruit. Keep letting go. Then you will build the knowledge and the ability and the technique of letting go, and something bigger will happen, and you will find you can let go of that. And eventually something really big will come up. You'll write me and say, oh my God, Mickey, it works. This thing that I was scared of my whole life, I've been practicing the techniques, and it happened. I thought I would freak out. Nothing happened inside of me. It just came up. And I thought it was adorable. I was kind of saying, I welcomed it. I welcomed it up. So welcome it. You don't want it down there haunting you, do you? You don't have to rush it. Wait till you're comfortable and relax. They will come up in their own time, and it will look like the world is unfolding perfectly to do that. I hope you see what I'm saying. It is unfolding perfectly to hit the stuff that's ready to be hit, because that's how you see it. That's what you're going to see next. And next thing you know, it comes up. And really, just don't kid yourself. You have a picture where you cut out your ex-husband, and it's just you and your kid sitting there on the side. And for years, you don't look at it much because you know who was there, right? And then all of a sudden, one day, you're sitting there and somebody asks, what's that a picture of? Says, that's me and the kid. I cut out the husband. I couldn't handle it. I cut out the husband. It's really pretty funny. And it doesn't bother you at all. And all of a sudden, you can talk about the husband. That's called growth, isn't it? That's called healthy. That's what you want. How did it happen? Because you were able to let go of the stuff you stored inside, and you were able to not take more. Now what happens? Let's just say that's all that happened. I always argue this. If all that happened is all that garbage and the stuff you couldn't handle from before, if you cleanse that out, you wouldn't have all the fear. Wouldn't that be nice not to have that fear behind everything and all the anxiety and self-consciousness and embarrassment and the mind bothering, oh, you shouldn't have said that. I can't believe you said that. Oh my God, what should I do now? Should I call him? No, Anybody have that going on in there? That's this stuff coming up. If you let go of this stuff, the mind does not talk like that. And then what happens is the mind starts giving you satsang, like I do. And you forgot to say something to somebody that would have been impressive, and the mind says, oh, that would have been impressive. Who cares? What do I need to be impressive for? I'm happy. I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoy the person's company. I don't want to sit there and own that they think I'm great. I could own that for a long time. I just want to enjoy the conversation. Well, wouldn't that be nice if the mind talked to you like that? It's okay. It's cool, man. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. There's nothing to do. Just enjoy life. Learn and grow. You have the right to learn and grow. All right. That would be nice enough if you weren't carrying this baggage inside. Then what happens is beyond your comprehension. If you will let go enough, this stuff will pass. But how long will it take? None of your business. If you're sitting there learning to play the piano and you're having trouble with a particular scale or something like that, you say to the teacher, how long do I have to play it? Until you can play it. But how long will it take? It's none of your business. If you keep practicing, eventually you will conquer it. You'll be able to play it. That's how you do your inside. It's like learning a sport. It's learning an instrument. You're learning to make something great of yourself. And so don't judge it. Don't think anything, no expectations. Just let go. Just let go. That's all you do. Keep letting go. And if you fall down, just get back up and let go. Well, I don't have to get down on myself and do a post-mortem. No, don't do that. Learning does not happen through the mind. Learning happens through experience. Think about when you're playing tennis or learn a sport. You don't sit there and analyze every shot. You would never be able to play. It's just because you learn from experience, now you know how to move your muscles. It becomes a learning experience when it comes all the way into you. You think somebody who plays an instrument great, you said, okay, we're going to play C. Oh my God, I messed up. There's nothing going on in there. It all becomes automatic. You know it by heart. Because you let it come all the way in and it merged with your soul, it merged with your being. So you can play at the deepest level. You know about it, don't you? All right? Sports, music, it's the same thing with life. So when it comes in, you learn from it. You don't have to analyze it. If you fall down, get back up as soon as possible, give her a kiss on the head and say, let's keep on trucking. There's a line in the Gita. It talks about this. It says, one should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. It's talking about you in there, the higher being I'm talking to, dealing with this lower self that you built in there. Raise it. Raise it up like you would a child. It's okay, sweetheart. You're all right. It's all right. It's okay. Yes, it was embarrassing. You're okay. You're okay. Just do the best you can every single time and then accept the results and get better. That's how a spiritual being cleans out the inside. Now, what happens? Eventually, you reach a certain tipping point, and I guarantee it will happen, where you're no longer bothered by the garbage you've stored inside. You got rid of that stuff. And all of a sudden, not only do you have the freedom to enjoy your life, but all of a sudden, this new energy starts welling up inside of you. You don't know where it comes from. You don't know what it is. There's no reason for it. But you're just happy. You're just filled with joy. You're filled with spirit. You're filled with love. You're filled with inspiration for absolutely no reason. And then it stays there longer and it comes more often. And then it's there all the time. That's where I want you to be. What do you mean? It's there all the time. Don't you doubt that. There are no bad days. There are no moods. There's nothing. There's just this flow of Shakti. There's this flow of energy. You've cleaned out the centers enough. You start being able to, that's your biggest problem now. Can I handle the level of love and joy and ecstasy that I'm feeling all the time on a regular basis? And the next thing you know, that becomes your life. No longer is your life what you like and what you dislike and trying to get people to be the way you want. That's not your life. Your life is, whoa, this is nicer than anything I ever felt before. When I had peak experiences where somebody told me just what I wanted to hear, and Might as well talk about peak experiences. They made me feel this. Well, they happened 3 times during my whole life. This is now happening spontaneously inside of me all the time. Somebody talked about this. I'm telling you, I'm a nice Jewish yogi, and I like Christ's teachings. Why? Because he was this. What did he say? Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of the Father. You're right now living off other people's behavior, the raise, the job, the house. You're living off the events that match your stuff, so you get a rush once in a while. Eventually, you will realize you don't live by bread alone, by the outside world. There is this flow of Shakti, this flow of energy flowing up inside of you that feeds you all the time. It gives you strength. Your heart never gets weak, ever. You're a being of power. And no matter who you are, no matter how timid you are, that's not who you are. It's the amount of energy that can flow through your garbage, which is not very much. And then what happens if the events fit your garbage, it opens up a little bit. Oh, I didn't think he could like me. And he told me he liked me. Oh my God, this is so neat. Well, what if you didn't like him? Oh my God, it was terrible. He told me he liked me. You're doing this. You're deciding whether it's a nice or a bad experience. Eventually, you will feel this come inside, feeding you. You won't be so blown away by it. You realize, okay, I'm high. I got this beautiful energy flowing through me, and something will come inside of you. You don't have to think it. There will be this intuitive question. Where's this coming from? It's really nice. Where's this coming from? And that's meditation. That's when real meditation is when that Shakti's flowing, and you take the time to merge your consciousness with it, to let it take you to its source. And everyone who ever did that, of all times and all religions, came back and said the same thing. My Father and I are one, right? Not bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of the Father. And you will realize there is a connection that you have inside, energetically, not mentally and emotionally or physically, from the energy of your consciousness that is connected to a source that is beyond your comprehension. And so you go as deep as you want, and then you bring that energy down here. And beings who have reached great states, they're a blessing to the earth. Every one of you are capable of that. Instead of bringing this garbage into the moment, you can bring the light into the moment. And the way you do that is by not listening to the garbage. It's called letting go. It's called surrender. And so you just do it little by little, as fast as you want to grow. And I always call it the angle of ascent. Whatever angle you're at, that's good. Eventually you want it to be like this. You won't play around. You say, wait a minute, this is nice. This is really nice. I want as much as possible for the rest of my life. So I've told you the entire path. It's so beautiful. And it's so simple. The question is, are you going to continue devoting yourself to manipulate the people and places around you to match the stuff that you stored inside of you? Or are you going to say, come and get it? Come on, I don't want it. Come take it. And all of a sudden the boss yelling at you becomes a spiritual experience. And it will be for him or her too. The fact that you didn't resist and yell back. Imagine a boss criticizing you. I expect you to do this like this and this, that, and the other thing. And you're in there and you just feel like this hurricane coming up inside of you. And you're using it to go to God. Using it to hit when mommy yelled at you and when daddy yelled at you and when X yelled at you. Come on, come and get it, come and get it. And you're very high being if you stay centered in that moment, right? And then all of a sudden he or she stops talking and you say, thank you. Thank you. I think I can do much better with that. Give me a moment. Whoa, you're going to get the raise. You handled that person. You are a great being. Be who you are. You do not have to go out there and have a world exactly the way that matches your stuff in order for you to be okay. It ain't going to happen, and you're wasting your life to do that. Use your will to liberate yourself, not to bind yourself. Shakti.